Hello and welcome to 3.4, applying the quadratic formula. So today we're going to be solving quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula can give us solutions to any quadratic equation that's in the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, and c are constants and a does not equal 0. So this here is the quadratic formula. And the quadratic formula can be used to solve any quadratic equation. So, looking at this example here, solve the following quadratic equations. So here, our a is 1, our b value is -2, and our c value is -7. So putting these into the quadratic formula says that x is equal to -b, or -2, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2 times a. So simplifying this a little bit is x is equal to 2 plus or minus the square root of 32 over 2. We can simplify this further and say that x is equal to 2 plus or minus 4 root 2 over 2. Divide everything by 2. We get x is equal to 1 plus or minus 2 root 2. And this is our final answer. We'll try another one here. So most of these are very hard to factor, which is why we would use the quadratic equation. So again, looking at our quadratic equation, we can say that a is equal to 1, b is equal to 2, and c is equal to 7. We put these in the quadratic equation, so x is equal to -b, so -2, plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2 times a. If we simplify this, we get x is equal to -2 plus or minus the square root of -24 over 2. And what you should notice here is we have a negative under this square root, which means there's nothing we can do with this, so we could say therefore there are no real roots. Or in other words, no solution. Moving on to another type, if you notice we don't have our normal ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So we need to rearrange this to look like this. So we can open all of this up, and we will get 2x squared minus 6x minus 1 equals 0. If we simplify all of this. Now, we can do the same thing by using the quadratic formula. A is 2, b is -6, and c is -1. So we could say x is equal to 6 -6 plus or minus b squared, which is -6 squared, minus 4ac all over 2 times a. Simplifying this gives us 6 plus or minus the square root of 44 all over 4. And we can simplify further to get 3 plus or minus root 11 over 2. So we can also do a word problem using a quadratic equation. So a person is standing on a bridge over a river. She throws a pebble upward. The height of the pebble above the river is given by this formula, where t is the time and h is the height. So let's write that down. T is equal to time and h is equal to the height. When will the pebble be 20 m above the river? So we're saying when h is equal to 20 m, t is equal to what? So all we have to do, use our equation here, 26 plus 9t minus 4.9t squared. So we're saying h is 20 . So all we have to do, easiest way to solve this would be to use our quadratic equation, where this is our A, our B, and our C. So we can say t is equal to negative 9 plus or minus 9 squared minus 4 times A, negative 4.9, times C all over 2 times A. Simplifying this, we get t is equal to 2.4 seconds. The next part says, when will the pebble be 30 meters above the river? So now we're asking for h is equal to 30 meters. So, if we work this out, using the same formula, we have our A, our B, and our C. So we can again use our quadratic equation. And we will get, this time, two answers. We'll get 0.8 seconds and 1.1 seconds. The reason we didn't use the second answer up here is because it was negative, and we cannot have a negative time. So here we get two positive values. Now, why are there two answers to part B, but only one for part A? So if you notice, we have a negative time up here, so we're only going to keep the positive, and we have two positive times down here. Well, there's a very easy answer for that. If we find out when time is equal to 0, what we'll find out here is that when time is equal to 0, our height is 26 meters. So it's already starting at 26 meters. So in part A, when the question says, when will the pebble be 20 meters above the river, the time you're looking at is actually the time on the way down, because it's starting at 26 meters. So there'll be 2 times for 30 meters and only 1 time for 20 meters.